Sam, can you believe how important electricity is? I mean, just think. Without it, we wouldn't have lights, phones, or even video games.
Yeah, but I always wonder, who actually invented it? Was there one person who suddenly discovered it like a hidden treasure?
I heard it's way more complicated than just one person. We should ask Professor Orion Sparks. He always has the coolest explanations.
Okay, let's go.
Well, well, well. If it isn't my favorite young scientists, what can I do for you today?
We were wondering about electricity, Professor. How was it invented? Was there one person who made it happen, or was it a long process?
Yeah, and how did people even figure out something we can't see?
Aha, you've come to the right place. The story of electricity is a long and fascinating journey, and it wasn't discovered by just one person. Let me take you back to the very beginning. Long, long ago, even in ancient times, people noticed strange things happening with certain objects. The Greeks, around 600 BC, were some of the first to observe something curious. They found that when they rubbed a piece of amber with fur, the amber could attract tiny objects like feathers or straw. They called this magical force electron, which is where we get the word electricity today.
Wait, so they were rubbing rocks and saw stuff sticking to them?
Exactly. They didn't know why it happened, but they knew it was something unusual. Of course, back then, they didn't understand electricity the way we do now. They just saw it as a strange, natural occurrence.
But that's not the same as the electricity we use today, right? Like, that stuff can't power a light bulb.
Very true, Sam. What the Greeks were seeing was static electricity, the same kind you experience when you rub a balloon on your hair and it sticks to the wall. It was a start, but people were far from understanding how to use it. Fast forward many centuries to the 1600s. A scientist named William Gilbert made huge progress. He wrote a book called De Magnet, where he studied magnets and static electricity. He was the one who coined the term electricus, from which we get electricity. Gilbert's work was critical in making people realize that electricity was something that could be studied scientifically.
So he was like the first electricity scientist?
Exactly, Alex. But there were others too. In the 1700s, more and more people got curious. In 1745, something big happened. A device called the Leyden jar was invented. This was the first device that could store electricity. It was like the world's first battery.
Wait, how did that work?
Great question. The Leyden jar was a glass jar coated with metal on the inside and outside. When people used it, they found they could store electrical charge and release it later. It wasn't like the batteries we use today, but it was a major step toward understanding electricity as something that could be harnessed. Now let's talk about someone you might have heard of, Benjamin Franklin. In 1752, he did a famous experiment to prove that lightning was a form of electricity.
Oh, I know this one. Didn't he fly a kite in a storm with a key attached?
Yes, Franklin flew a kite with a metal key tied to it during a thunderstorm. The idea was that lightning, which is a massive discharge of electricity, would strike the kite, and the key would get electrified. He was lucky not to get hurt, but the experiment showed that lightning is indeed electrical. This helped people understand that electricity wasn't just something that happened with small objects like the Leyden jar or static electricity, but also in nature on a massive scale. But Franklin's experiment was only the beginning. After that, people started wondering, how can we control electricity? One of the key people in this next step was Alessandro Volta, an Italian scientist. In 1800, Volta invented something amazing, the first true electric battery called the voltaic pile.
Wait, didn't we already have a battery, like the Leyden jar?
Good memory, Sam. The Leyden jar could store electricity, but Volta's battery could produce a steady flow of electric current. It was made of alternating layers of zinc and copper, separated by pieces of cardboard soaked in salt water. When they were stacked up, they created a flow of electricity.
So with this, people could finally use electricity for more than just experiments?
Exactly. Volta's invention opened the door to using electricity in a practical way. People could now produce and study continuous electrical currents, not just static charges or brief sparks. Now, let me introduce you to someone else, Hans Christian Ørsted. In 1820, he discovered something incredible, that electricity and magnetism are connected. He found that when an electric current flows through a wire, It creates a magnetic field around it. This was the beginning of a whole new field called electromagnetism.
Whoa, electricity can make magnets? I didn't know that.
Absolutely. And this discovery was huge. It led to the development of electric motors. Without Ørsted's discovery, we wouldn't have things like electric cars or even the fans we use in our homes today. Now let's jump forward a bit to the 1800s, when the world really started to change thanks to electricity. You've probably heard of Thomas Edison, right?
Of course. He invented the light bulb.
Well, sort of. Edison didn't invent the light bulb from scratch, but he did create the first long-lasting practical light bulb in 1879. Before that, there were other versions of electric lights, but they didn't last very long or were too expensive to use. Edison found a way to make a light bulb that could stay lit for hours without burning out quickly.
So, Edison made it so everyone could use electricity for light?
Yes, Edison's invention made electric lighting affordable and practical for homes and businesses. But Edison didn't stop there. He also built power plants that could generate electricity and send it to people's homes through wires. This was the start of the modern electrical grid. But there's more. Around the same time, a war was going on, the War of Currents. This was a battle between Thomas Edison and another brilliant inventor, Nikola Tesla. Edison promoted direct current, DC, which is electricity flowing in one direction, while Tesla supported alternating current, AC, which changes direction periodically.
Why were they fighting over it?
Well, they weren't exactly fighting with swords, but they did have different ideas about how electricity should be delivered to people's homes. Edison's DC system worked for short distances, but Tesla's AC system was better for sending electricity over long distances. Eventually, Tesla's AC system won because it was more efficient, and it's still the system we use today for most of our power. Today, electricity is everywhere. It powers almost everything in our daily lives, from lights and appliances to computers and cars. Scientists like James Clerk Maxwell, who developed the theory of electromagnetism, and Michael Faraday, who created the first electric motor, played huge roles in making this possible.
So, electricity was invented over a long time, by lots of people.
That's exactly right, Sam. It wasn't just one person who invented electricity, but a series of discoveries and inventions that happened over hundreds of years.
And we're still discovering new ways to use it today. That's amazing.
It truly is. Electricity has transformed our world, and who knows what exciting discoveries about energy the future holds.